to us by Cameras Everywhere's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On July 26, 2021, Officer David Lance Dukes of the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety responded to a call regarding a man banging on a townhouse door, allegedly with a gun in his waistband. When he arrived on the scene, Officer Dukes immediately drew his gun and ordered 58-year-old disabled man Clarence Gailard and—
You think you know what a good cop looks like. You think you've seen it all. The blue wall of silence, the corruption, the elite protecting their own. But what happens when one man inside that machine finally says enough? What happens when a good cop gets a bad cop, not just fired, but arrested? We all knew this was happening behind closed doors. You know just like I know. The files they hide, the rotten apples they shuffle around to different departments like some kind of demonic shell game. But this time, the wall cracked. And it cracked because one man had the guts to write down what he saw. It started with a parking lot and an old man. A 58-year-old disabled man named Clarence Gailard was standing outside a townhouse with his cousin, Mario Julian. They weren't running, they weren't fighting. The call that brought the cops there was flimsy at best, the kind of vague complaint they used to terrorize a neighborhood. Enter Officer David Lance Dukes of the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety. The body cam footage is gut-wrenching. Before a single word is exchanged, Dukes flies out of his patrol car, gun already drawn, screaming like a man possessed.
Audit the audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers use of force, officer obstruction, and official misconduct, and is brought—
He's shouting at Clarence and Mario, ordering them to the ground, his voice cracking with a rage that has nothing to do with public safety. Clarence, a man with a traumatic brain injury from a previous accident, tries to get down on his hands and knees. He's moving slow, his body failing him, but his empty hands are up. He's surrendering. And what did—
Mr. Gailard attempts to comply with Officer Dukes' orders by getting onto his hands and knees, but Officer Dukes forcefully uses his foot to attempt to force Mr. Gailard all the way to the ground, causing his head to violently hit the pavement. In the 1989 case of
we see the blood pooling on the ground, and we see the lie forming on Dukes' lips before the old man even stops groaning. This is the kind of cruelty that makes you sick to your stomach. A ritualistic humiliation of the weak by the powerful that they don't want you to see. But they forgot one thing. They forgot that on July 26th, 2021, there was a legend standing in the background taking notes.
Whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. More recently, in the 2016 case of Armstrong versus Village of Pinehurst, the Fourth Circuit, which includes South Carolina, held that, quote, non-compliance with lawful orders justifies some use of force, but the level of justified force varies.
And they almost do. You see Sergeant Meyer walk up to Dukes and fist bump him. A fist bump.
Gun drop, had him at gunpoint. He's over here doing something like this.
You slammed my head. You slammed my
What
head
he was doing is
down
putting this up behind the tire. So he comes over right here, he got his hands in his pockets. I'm telling him, let me see your hands, let me see your hands, let me see your
Why you
hands.
bust my head?
He wasn't listening.
No, it ain't.
He got the, like this right here,
You grabbed me,
and we went on to the
and
ground.
you bust my head.
Officer Dukes claims that when Mr. Gailard was walking from behind the white vehicle, he believed that he had a gun and repeatedly told him to drop it. Officer Dukes also alleges that once Mr. Gailard stepped in front of the vehicle, he had his hands in his pockets and repeatedly ignored requests to show his hands. However, the body cam footage shows that Mr. Gailard actually had his hands above his head, and that while Officer Dukes
To justify attempted murder. When Mario Julian, watching his cousin bleed from the forehead, asks for Dukes' badge number and a business card, Dukes looks him dead in the eye and says, "We don't have them. They don't give us cards." That's a cold, calculated obstruction of justice. He knew what he did was criminal, and he was trying to vanish into the system like a ghost.
This report also states that Officer Dukes was giving loud verbal commands for Mr. Gailard to get on the ground, but makes no mention of a gun or any commands to drop a gun or show his hands. It's also important to note that when Officer Dukes was reporting what happened, he did not explain the method he used to take Mr. Gailard down. Corporal Smith's report claimed that when Mr. Gailard did not get completely on the ground, Officer Dukes pushed him to the ground by placing his right foot on the middle of Mr. Gaillard's back. However, the incident report filed by Sergeant Sergeant Akeel Pador states that Officer Dukes, quote, jumped up and stomped Mr. Gailard on the back of his neck with his foot, although it is unclear from the body camera.
But Pat or heard him. She walked right over, corrected Dukes, and provided the information to Mr. Julian. She handed over the keys to his own cell.
Whether Officer Dukes' foot landed on Mr. Gailard's neck or upper back, it is certain that the version of events Officer Dukes explained to his commanding officer did not align with the body camera footage or the reports filed by his colleagues.
That's on the cement. Because my forehead.
Your head did hit the cement.
Right, because you bust me down.
Dukes was shaking his head, realizing he was being exposed in real time by one of his own. The files don't directly lie. The incident report from Sergeant Pador stated Dukes jumped up and stomped the victim. So what's the bigger picture here? Why does this feel like the breaking point we all knew was coming? This isn't just about Orangeburg, South Carolina. This connects to the larger cultural moment where we see the FBI and
You want me to check you out?
You mind looking? Good, how are you? What's going on?
Officer slammed my forehead down.
If Pador hadn't been there, if the camera hadn't been rolling, Dukes would be a decorated officer today, and Clarence Gailard would be just another broken body in the gutter, dismissed as a drug addict or a threat. How many Clarence Gailards are buried in the files of unsolved complaints? How many legends like Pador have been blackballed into retirement, their careers destroyed for refusing to celebrate a demonic act of violence?
Hands in the pocket.
These dogs on
camera.
Yeah, my dog stick. My dog stick.
So he can come out of cuffs?
Yes, take him out of handcuffs.
Yeah, he can come out.
Oh,